It's June 4th, 2017, and in every ICC tournament, there is one match that can stop half a continent. This one. It's Pakistan versus India, Edgbaston, Game 4 of the 2017 ICC Champions Trophy. These two teams were in a group of death with South Africa and Sri Lanka, with little room to manoeuvre. Lose here in this first game and you're one step away from elimination. Pakistan won the toss, bowling first. Their latest struggle against an arch rival had begun. Pakistan were out to control India's start, while India rallied against them, even if it resulted in a heart-stopping moment.
Draw missed it.
At almost the 10-over mark, Pakistan had somewhat succeeded at none for 46, before a short rain delay halted proceedings. Although the monster fast start had been somewhat prevented, no wickets had fallen. India was still dangerous, and like a pair of penned-in angry bulls, Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan began charging at Pakistan's barricades. The run rate was accelerating. Rohit gets to 55 with this 6. Shikhar Dhawan hits 3 4s in an over to make sure he's not far behind. Pakistan's fences are groaning with the strain. At the 24-over mark, they're none for 135.
Terrific shot, great use of the feet, Shikhar Dhawan.
Shadab Khan would finally be able to corral Shikhar Dhawan towards a fielder. A massive 136-run partnership broken. But another ball had now entered the yard, Virat Kohli. The indications were that the onslaught would continue, as another rain delay soon came. India and Pakistan would lose 2 overs each. All the more reason to hit a boundary.
That is beautifully played.
It wasn't the big hitting that would result in the next wicket, but a sharp piece of work in the field. 9 short of a century, Rohit Sharma was run out. Rohit and Shikhar had found the weak spots to Pakistan's barricades, but it would be Virat and Yuvraj that would smash through them. Yuvraj was dropped on 8, heralding forth a display of sheer blunt force. From 2 for 202 at the end of the 38th over, they were 2 for 285 at the end of the 46th. Wahab Riaz finished with none for 87, the worst bowling figures in Champions Trophy history, and he picked up an injury in the field as well. Hassan Ali would finally stop Yuvraj on 53.
Ball tracking coming up, Murray, we have pitching in line, impact in line, and the wickets is hitting. Murray, you're on camera now.
With 10 balls to go, Pakistan might have thought that the worst was behind them, but Virat Kohli wasn't happy with simply being free. With help from Hardik Pandya, India would inflict some final destructive damage on their opponents. Those final 10 balls included 4 6s and 2 4s. India finished on 3 for 319 after 48 overs, as more rain came tumbling down. A tough task indeed, but Pakistan were keeping in touch early on. Another shower came near the start of their innings. Pakistan's innings were reduced further. A new target of 289 off 41 overs had been set. At none for 27 off 6, the run rate was close to 7.5 and over. Finally, the sun had come out. In the field, India would do what Pakistan couldn't early on.
Just no swing, close, and given.
Pakistan would fight to try and find those weak spots like India did to them, but wickets would fall in the process. Opener Azhar Ali would reach his 50, only to be caught in the deep. Pakistan's innings struggled to find the momentum needed to break through India's defences, that run rate going upwards as they tried. Mohammad Hafiz and Shoaib Malik were still toiling hard, but a lapse in concentration would cost them dearly.
Oh, chance of a direct hit and it's gone. Shoaib Malik taken.
As Hafiz was then dismissed on 33, Pakistan were 5 for 131. This would end up being India's day. The Indian pressure, helped with a ballooning run rate, saw Pakistan's next 4 wickets only score 33 runs between them. At 9 down, it would be all over. Wahab Riaz would not bat after the injury he suffered while fielding. India show that they're the real contenders for the Champions Trophy, while Pakistan sit on the precipice of elimination. The question to ask though, was this a surprise? A record might have been broken during this loss, but this result was not a surprise. But what if I said that this Pakistan team would indeed have a surprise up their sleeve? One that would make them and their journey in this tournament irresistible to miss. What even is the Champions Trophy? Obviously, we know it's a tournament that features the top cricketing teams of the world vying for an ICC trophy. But don't we have the World Cup for that? What is the purpose of the Champions Trophy? Well, the first Champions Trophy tournament was held in 1998, and it was brought in to help fix a two-part problem. First was that cricket as a sport was very popular in certain countries, but outside of those few, it struggled to gain a foothold elsewhere. That's something that we even see today. The other was financial in nature. The ICC, as most organisations do, need money to function, not only to administer and grow cricket as is their mandate, but to help bring revenue to the member nations that it represents. One of the main ways that they do that is through events, like the ODI World Cup. But that vital injection of money only comes around once every 4 years. In 1998, remember, we're in a time when T20 cricket hadn't even been conceived of yet as a format. The Champions Trophy was seen as an event that could help alleviate these shortcomings. At least initially, it would be held every 2 years, both to spread the gospel of cricket around the world, but to also generate vital revenue to the ICC and its members. The first was held in Bangladesh. The hosts weren't even in this tournament themselves, nor were they even a full member nation at this point, but it was very well attended locally, with all matches being held in Dhaka. Though the next iteration in Kenya would not receive the same level of local support. While the sentiments were in the right place for why the tournament was created in the first place, the Champions Trophy has had many detractors and a fair share of drama basically since its inception. From bad weather and pitch conditions, scheduling, particularly those in the years it shared with the World Cup, allegations of match fixing, as well as the expansion and subsequent reduction in the overall size of the competition, just to name a few. But the most overriding issue that has plagued it is that it has never been able to really stand on its own 2 feet, without it being seen as a lesser and somewhat unnecessary version of the ODI World Cup. All of these issues, however, did not stop countries from proudly presenting the trophy if they ever won it. Pakistan had played in every Champions Trophy to date, but had never even reached the final. Its results over the years are filled with peaks and valleys. They have made the quarters once and the semis 3 times. In 2017, we are roughly a year from when Pakistan had reached another peak of the cricketing world. Test captain Misbah-ul-Haq's Pakistan were given the ICC Test Mace for the very first time. An achievement built on an unbeaten series run that lasted nearly 3 years, not to mention making their UAE home away from home a fortress. Even their T20 international side was fighting to displace New Zealand's stranglehold of nearly a year at number 1.
And that's it, all over. Pakistan probably thought that they would have finished off this match a lot earlier, but they've still won.
It's these facts, however, which brought into stark focus the contrast of how the ODI team was going in comparison. They had just barely scraped into qualifying for the Champions Trophy. Pace was slowly gathering as they were heading into another valley. Their travels down under in early 2017 is where things in tests and ODIs really started to fall away. The team experienced consecutive test series whitewashes in New Zealand and then Australia.
The 1600 in his career.
And although Pakistan would break a 12-year drought winning an ODI in Australia, the 5-match series itself would be lost 4-1, just 5 odd months before the Champions Trophy would start. The issues with their ODI side would be concisely explained by Usman Samiuddin writing for ESPN Cricinfo. Quote, "At first, the batting appeared to be the issue. Good sides were making 350 for fun and Pakistan were happy with 300. Too many dot balls, 270-degree batting and no power hitters. The real kicker was that their bowling became outdated. Once every 4 games, they were taken for over 300. And usually, it wasn't just over, but well past it. There was no diversity, no personality. The spinners were not Saeed Ajmal. The fast bowlers were not express. They did little with the new ball, less through the middle, and the less said about the death, the better. You don't need to be told about the fielding." While Misbah, who was a few months away from retiring anyway, had built the cachet to stop any real talk of him losing the Test captaincy, Azhar Ali had not done the same. A couple of weeks after that tour ended, he resigned amidst growing speculation about his potential sacking. On paper, this was seen as close to a full-strength Pakistan side, but from their form to the game plan and mindset, sprinkled in with problems that have tormented Pakistan for much longer, somehow the team needed to change course. With coach Mickey Arthur and the administrators looking on, what Pakistan first did was to bring over a player who had been a regular fixture in their successful test side, to set the example of exactly how they wanted their ODI team to play.
Oh, that's nicely done and superbly done by Sarfaraz Ahmed. Look at the reaction.
Sarfaraz had been regarded as a future captain since captaining Pakistan's under-19s. Earlier in his career, he had to bide his time as Pakistan experimented with the three Akmal brothers behind the stumps. At this point of the story, Sarfaraz already had a number of ODI caps, but Mohammad Rizwan was the ODI keeper for that Aussie tour. There was no such uncertainty around his spot in the test side. Pakistan were notorious for slowly grinding teams into the sands of the UAE. Sarfaraz's spot was more than a keeper. Behind the stumps, he was an enforcer of Misbah ul-Haq's game plan and standards, and a potent, aggressive lower order batter that was calm under pressure. He was also the captain of Pakistan's resurgent T20 side.
Yeah, that's a meaty blow. That's into the gap. Not over the rope, but a boundary.
Fitness and fielding were some of the first focuses of the new Arthur Ahmed era. These focuses bore fruit with a 2-1 series win away to the West Indies, their last series before the Champions Trophy. Azhar Ali wouldn't play at all, although he was still seen as an important team member. Instead, Pakistan had played with different combinations in their top order. But the bowling was being tinkered with too. In a sign of things to come, Shadab Khan was given an ODI debut, and Hassan Ali's prominence grew. Skiddy seam bowling and spin can play a vital role in England. Realistically speaking, they were looking at maybe a semi-final spot, if they could get out of their group of death. Their first heavy defeat to India had already hurt those chances. But next, they had to face a team that no one wanted to face. The number one ODI side in the world, South Africa. Supporters were battening down the hatches. Edgbaston hosted Pakistan's second game of the tournament. Winning the toss, South Africa's scary batting lineup would get first crack on this surface, starting with Quinton de Kock and Hashim Amla. Opening the bowling, Wahab Riaz was gone, replaced with Junaid Khan. The first 8 overs would not see any wickets, but South Africa hadn't gotten away either. Pakistan were winning the opening 10-over power play. The first change of bowling would see if this match would be different to the last one.
Oh, it's worth a shout. He's gone. So the change has got the wicket.
Sarfaraz went from pace directly to spin from both ends. De Kock gets this one away, but Mohammad Hafiz would have the last say. It's 2 for 60. AB de Villiers and Faf du Plessis the next pair, but not for long.
Oh, gone.
Imad Wasim takes his second, the huge scalp of the Proteas captain first ball. Faf and David Miller were getting used to spin, so Sarfaraz changed it up and got immediate dividends. Now, Amla, De Kock, AB and Faf were all gone. Sarfaraz's team had pulled South Africa into the quagmire. It's 4 for 90 in the 23rd over. As nearly half of their innings was over, one of these two would need to go long. It wouldn't be JP Duminy, Hassan Ali's second wicket of the game. His next ball was even better.
Oh, bowled in. Beautifully done by Hassan Ali.
6 for 118. If the regular wickets weren't bad enough, South Africa was struggling to keep their head above 4 and over. For the next 13 odd overs, they would not even score 50 runs. Something had to give. Chris Morris gone. David Miller would indeed go long, but his 50 was off 83 balls. They finally reached 200 in their 49th over. Kagiso Rabada did his best to help, but today, Pakistan had pulled off one of their best efforts in the field for a long time. A chance that might have been dropped in Australia is taken. David Miller finishes unbeaten on 75 off 104, Pakistan needing 220 to win the game at 4.5 runs and over. Easy chase, right? This is Pakistan. Even if the figures are on their side, there seems to be this pervading sense that they and the cricketing gods will somehow conspire a way for them to lose and eliminate them from the tournament in the process. Having to face Morne Morkel and Kagiso Rabada first up would only reinforce this feeling. But before we get there, there's a player I haven't introduced yet. See, Azhar Ali was opening the batting, but Pakistan had handed a debut to one Fakhar Zaman. Outside of Pakistan, next to nothing was known about him, nor did many think that he would do anything to change how poorly their batting lineup had been going. But he was something different. As Azhar Ali started with his typical reserved start, Zaman would take them on, hitting all 6 boundaries of Pakistan's first 6 overs. Pakistan on top early, until Morne Morkel found his edge.
Edged, and I think it's been taken. It has, staying leg side of the ball there.
A good start, but not yet enough as Pakistan supporters go quiet in Edgbaston. 2 balls later, what is that shot? Oh, here we go. 3 maidens on the trot pushes them down under the required. This streaky boundary doing little to stop the target moving away from them. Maybe because they had so many balls to work with, Mohammad Hafiz and Babar Azam just weren't rotating the strike enough. The odd boundary or 6 was almost cancelled out by the amount of dot balls that they were taking. They were inviting pressure onto themselves as 3 dreaded names made themselves known: Duckworth, Lewis, Stern. The skies were darkening. 20 overs had already passed, so the game would have a result. As Morkel is brought back on, Pakistan were ahead with 2 wickets down.
Catch is the call, and it's taken. Imran Thar has picked up a beautiful catch.
The new DLS calculation would put Pakistan ahead by just 3 runs. Forget blocking the ball, they had to get moving. Shoaib Malik does just that. As the rain starts to get heavier, Babar Azam hits this final 4 before they eventually go off. Pakistan 3 for 119. That would be the last ball of the match. The target score under DLS was 101 to win. Pakistan had won by 19 runs. I don't know about you, but that didn't feel like a 19-run win. My immediate thought was, thank God for the bowling and that someone attacked in the power play. Things could have gotten much closer if not for that rain. But they were alive in the tournament, and the drama of this Pakistan campaign was just hitting its stride. The final group game of the tournament was in Cardiff, between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. The day before, India had beaten South Africa to go top of the group. Whoever wins here will go through to the semis with them. The pitch was pace friendly, with Pakistan's only change being Fahim Ashraf on debut for Shadab Khan. They would lead with their strongest suit, bowling first. Pace would play a big role today, but Sri Lanka weren't going to let Pakistan get on top easily. A maiden off Junaid Khan was replied to with 3 boundaries off his next, for Junaid to hit back once again.
In the air, should be taken, will be taken comfortably.
Kusal Mendes came in to continue the assault. Sarfaraz brings on Imad Wasim, but only for an over before switching to Hassan Ali from that end. Pakistan's top wicket taker for the tournament would only be quiet for so long.
Oh, yes, sir. What a delivery.
Dinesh Chandimal became Fahim Ashraf's first ODI wicket 2 balls later. It's 2 for 83 in the 16th over. Pakistan starts their middle over squeeze, as Niroshan Dickwella gets his 50 in the 20th over. For 10 overs, Sri Lanka are reduced to hitting just 2 4s and 1 6. Captain Angelo Matthews tries to break the shackles. This partnership was gathering steam. A tight single sees them just safe. Runs were starting to come. Pakistan's spearhead would get the breakthrough.
It's Ahmed who does it this time.
The return of Pakistan's opening bowlers would see a cascade of wickets fall. From 3 for 161, Sri Lanka are now 7 for 167 in the 35th over. With the damage done, Sarfaraz puts the clamps back on with Hassan Ali and Imad Wasim. In the final 15 overs of the innings, Sri Lanka fought hard, but could only muster singles and 2s with a smattering of boundaries. Suranga Lakmal was dismissed for 26. Before their 50 overs were complete, Sri Lanka were bowled out for 236. Pakistan's batters had a good chance here, but remember the South Africa game. The opening partnership was almost broken in the first over, had the catch not been dropped at point. After Azhar Ali faced 10 balls without getting off the mark, Fakhar Zaman pounced on a loose one. 1 became 2, then 3, then 4. Azhar Ali gets going with some swipes of his own.
Azhar Ali. Until that point, change of commentary, change of approach, Azhar Ali down the pitch.
Zaman was bringing the missing ingredient that Pakistan had missed at the top of the order. Even his top edges were going for 6. His maiden ODI 50 brought up in the 11th over. 74 of Pakistan's much needed runs were already scored. It was looking so easy, only for this to happen.
Top edge, pulled firmly, might be gone this time, is gone. Disappointment for Fakhar and a much needed wicket for Sri Lanka.
A crisp shot to the offside bolstered Pakistan's hopes before 1 became 2. Surely not. Hafiz came in and was gone for 1. Azhar Ali and Shoaib Malik were together before Ali was caught in the slips. From none for 74, it was 4 for 110. Sri Lanka back in the game. Captain Sarfaraz was out there, but gosh, things were nervy.
Mix up, big mix up. Oh, direct hit gone.
Shoaib Malik hits a nice shot or two, but wouldn't last long. Someone had to stay out there. They only needed 100 odd, with more than 20 overs to go. But no one was answering the call. Beautiful shots were being made. But just look at this.
What is he saying? What's the body language
umpire
suggesting?
review for run it. That's perfect. My decision is out. I repeat, out.
It's 7 down. The cricket gods have a wicked sense of humour. They weren't finished toying with us just yet. A quick single turns into 5 runs. A little bit of luck followed by a sweetly timed shot from Sarfaraz. All day they had played shots, but by now a wicket was expected to follow.
Out! No! It's been dropped! Has he dropped the match?
With 43 needed off 70, Sarfaraz is dropped on 38. 2 overs later, he gives them another chance.
In the air! The man's coming in, he's got a chance, it's down again!
Were Pakistan's fortunes changing? Sarfaraz took this chase by the horns, working with Pakistan's tail like he had done for years in the test side. He gets to 50 with only 20 more runs needed to win. Mohammad Amir was with him, as Sarfaraz gets the winning runs.
Huge cheers, and there it is. Sarfaraz has taken his team home. A real captain's innings here.
Pakistan wins in a way only they know how. Pakistan were in to the semi-finals to face the hosts England. The question was though, had their luck run out? An injury would force them to bring in a new pace bowler, on debut no less. Mohammad Amir was out due to a back spasm for Ruman Reis to replace him. Fahim Ashraf was dropped for Shadab Khan. England topped their group to get into the semis, but it was helped by some really extraordinary circumstances. Australia would in reality only play 1 game, a loss to England with the help of DLS, while their other 2 were complete washouts. Tournament favourites New Zealand were one of those washouts, while the Black Caps then lost to England and Bangladesh. Still, nothing to take away from England. They are always tough in home conditions. Pakistan bowled first. Bairstow and Hales survived some close LBW calls in the opening overs, as they put together a few boundaries. The first wicket taken by the debutant. Debut or not, Ruman Reis was fitting seamlessly into the Pakistan attack, though England were finding it easier than others did at keeping the scoreboard ticking over. Within touching distance of his 50, Johnny Bairstow holes out in the deep. Owen Morgan and Joe Root continue to accumulate runs, but the Pakistan vice grip was tightening. An exclamation from Sarfaraz over just a single boundary in an over shows the levels he's pushing his men towards.
Oh, that smash to the offside of the last ball of the over.
Shadab would soon have his first. Root gone, it's 3 for 128 in the 28th over. Every English shot to break away from Pakistan seemed tinged with risk, a dismissal reinforcing how dicey things were. Hassan Ali a vital cog in the mechanism. 2 overs later, Joss Buttler would be gone too. Pakistan were in control. Even tough chances were taken, and those that only they could see.
The stumps, like that. I think it was doing just a little too much as Rashid scrambles to the non-striker's end. I think he's in trouble.
The last 6 odd overs were a hunting party. England took 48 overs to reach 200, and yet it was paired with another wicket, Hassan Ali picking up his 3rd of the match. This boundary was the first since the 39th over, followed by another wicket. In the second last ball of the innings, Sarfaraz runs out Mark Wood. England were all out for 211, a score below par. A score that most teams should get in a canter, but would that be the case for Pakistan? With Mark Wood tearing in, it would have to start with Fakhar Zaman. Game after game, Azhar Ali was growing in confidence as Zaman's shots oozed authority.
Besto, wow, that sounded good. And result is good.
The target of 212 was coming closer at a rate of knots. Even top edges were achingly out of reach for England, these two putting them to the sword. None for 56 after 11, then none for 95 after 16. Fakhar Zaman reaching his second 50 in 2 games, this one off 49 balls, 113 needed off 199. Azhar Ali getting to 50 also. It would take 21 overs of pain for England to finally break them up. Zaman gone for 57. Given the past few games, it's understandable that nerves would follow this wicket. But for the first time in this tournament, Pakistan's top order showed their true pedigree. Babar Azam came out and played shots like it was nothing, as Ali got to 72.
There's that lovely straight drive. What a shot, what a response.
It meant that even when he was gone for 76, Pakistan were already rounding third base and coming home. Babar Azam and Mohammad Hafiz took them there in style, delighting the crowd with their stroke making. The total reached with more than 12 overs to spare.
Way to do it. Pakistan have crushed England here in Cardiff and have booked their place in the final.
Pakistan had hit their stride going into the final with their best all-round performance of the tournament. There was only one more team to beat. The same team that dominated them in the first match of the tournament. One more time, these two arch rivals were on a collision course. One thing was certain. The Pakistan that they faced in the group stage and the ones they're facing now were on completely different levels. India had better watch out. The final match of the tournament was upon us. India went in with the same lineup that beat Bangladesh in the semis, while Pakistan welcomed back Mohammad Amir. Before the game even started, India would throw their first spanner into the works, electing to bowl first. If they had any chance of winning, Pakistan's shaky batting order had to lead from the front today. It's almost like you could feel the nerves in the first over. A maiden. Those nerves turned to anguish in the third.
Outside edge. And he nicks it this time.
Fakhar Zaman caught behind. The cutting edge of Pakistan's batting had been broken off by India's strongest hammer. Or at least, that's what we first thought.
He's hoping against hope that this may work for Pakistan. He's clearly over the line and it's a no ball.
What a reprieve. An inside edge 2 balls later flies for 4. These two didn't know what a winning total was. All they needed was more. More timing, more footwork, more hitting the gaps, and more of this.
But not a sea of blue.
You could feel it. The old Azhar Ali was back, leading the way just like a former captain would. The 10 over power play was over, with Pakistan none for 56. Fakhar Zaman was just trying to keep up with the veteran. By the 18th, the 100 partnership was up. With a calm single to the leg side, Azhar Ali brings up his 50. The onslaught is wearing on India. A misfield brings up Fakhar Zaman's 50 not long after. None for 114 after 20 overs. Pakistan were heading for a 280, 300 plus score.
He joins his partner. This is a wonderful combination, an exceptional start.
Can you feel that? There was something missing to this Pakistan innings, but only for so long.
The energy levels are up. Oh, chance of a run out. Chance of a run out. Azhar Ali.
Fakhar Zaman's ball watching breaks their partnership apart. Azhar Ali gone for 59. Zaman knew what he had done, but with the form that this guy's in, he goes into overdrive.
That's a big shot, big six.
The batting purists must have been up in arms watching him. His head's falling away. Where's his balance? How did he even hit it there? None of it mattered. 3 ODIs for Pakistan, 2 50s, and now Zaman had his first ODI century in a final. Another 6 followed for good measure. But with a swipe across the line, one would finally stay within the boundary. Fakhar Zaman out for 114. One of the best innings you'll likely ever see in an ICC final. Pakistan 2 for 200, 33 overs gone. Now, the openers had done the heavy lifting, but the work wasn't done. India bats so deep. Some of those Pakistan fans must have been praying, please, just hold it together. Can we please just bat out the 50 overs? Where we'd seen through this video Pakistan's middle order almost worried more about not getting out as opposed to scoring runs, there was a single-minded focus today. Shoaib Malik joins Babar Azam and the run rate was going up. Babar Azam continues where Zaman left off. Although Malik wouldn't stay for long, this 6 his only maximum, Mohammad Hafiz takes over, powering Pakistan past 250 in the final 10 overs.
He got it. That was a bad ball from Jadeja there.
Even when Babar Azam doesn't reach his 50, Imad Wasim helps Hafiz keep that run rate stable at over 6 and over. They're motoring to 300 and then past it. Hafiz reaches 50 off 34 balls with 7 balls remaining. A 6 punctuates the final over.
Straight hit, 6!
Pakistan finished on 4 for 338. It was the highest score of the entire tournament and Pakistan's highest ever total in a final of any ICC event. Now their bowlers had a proper total to defend.
India 339 to win. That man on screen, Virat Kohli, will have a lot of work to do, as will Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma.
Standing at the top of his mark was Mohammad Amir. As a young man, a fateful set of decisions would send him down a path of reckoning that really he was only just coming back from. This spearhead of the Pakistani attack had only taken 2 wickets in the entire tournament so far, where their other bowlers had dominated. Today was his final chance in this event to show his true abilities.
Get in.
Oh, close. That's come back in. Given. That's an absolute perler.
Rohit Sharma out for a duck in the first over. The next over, he fires a thunderbolt across Virat Kohli. He's got the edge. He's already celebrating before it reaches the slips. But is anything ever straightforward with Pakistan?
Edged. Oh, dropped. Not a man you want to drop.
Mohammad is spitting nails as he walks away. With steam coming out of his ears, he charges in once again.
In the air, gone! Not that important, he's gone the next ball. Brilliant from Amir.
Kohli gone for 5. It's 2 for 7 after 3. This Indian team had plenty to come. Shikhar Dhawan and Yuvraj Singh get India going. Pakistan are going to need much more to beat them. Amir rises to the task.
Oh, taken, caught behind, crossing!
Dhawan gone, 3 for 33. India's middle order were forced to come out earlier than hoped. MS Dhoni joined Yuvraj Singh. They take Mohammad Hafiz to task in 1 over before Sarfaraz brought on Shadab Khan and Hassan Ali. The game slowly transitioned into the middle overs, where Pakistan were at their most potent.
Pad first, then the bat. Gone for the appeal. Sarfaraz feels that there's a strong case.
Impact is in line and it's going on to hit the wickets. You're on camera now, Richard.
Full shot, catch it is the call. MS is out.
Both of them were gone in back-to-back overs. They're 5 down, the total becoming a fading number in the distance. Pakistan had got to this stage through forcing their opponents to play into risky situations, and nothing was changing here. Hardik Pandya was already in before the 20 over mark. He did what he does best.
Has he got enough? Yes, he has.
Sixes rained into the Oval crowd. Back to back to back sixes, bringing him to 50. Hardik Pandya was standing up against huge odds. More sixes came. But a situation arises almost identical to Pakistan's.
Got rid of all 3 of them. Chance of a run out, both at the same end.
Calamity in the middle. Hardik furiously walks off the field, and with him, India's last hopes of a resistance. An over later, Jadeja would follow him, Junaid Khan with his first.
Outside edge. They haven't missed much, Pakistan.
Who else but Hassan Ali to finish the job? Ashwin and then Bumrah. Pakistan win the Champions Trophy for the first time.
158 India blown away in the final, and it's Pakistan who are through. Over the line, massive win, great scenes.
Someone very near and dear to me once said that sports are the equivalent of a TV drama, with one important difference. In both, the characters and storylines change over time, but with sports, there's always another game to play. That has stuck with me ever since. If that's the case, Pakistan might be the best ever drama or soap opera in cricket. While some definitely watch to revel in their misfortune, there's others like me who have sat through season after season of painful losses, of knee-jerk reactions, and of head-scratching decisions, just hoping to see the good times roll once again, even if we're left an emotional wreck by the end of it. Because when Pakistan are flying, it is truly an awesome sight to behold. As I make this is the last time Pakistan lifted an ICC trophy to date. And when you watch this, they might appear further away than ever from reaching this type of summit again. But never forget, when there's always another game to be played, the kings of cricket drama will always have the chance to deliver their best episode yet. Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you liked it, please remember to give it a thumbs up below and subscribe if you're new. Maybe even think about sharing this video with someone who might like it also. It all really helps in getting this video pushed to a wider audience and to more cricket fans like you and me. Now, if you're looking for something else to watch, I've got a number of ICC tournament related videos on this channel. But after what we've just seen with Pakistan, I think this one here on Sri Lanka's 96 World Cup should be watched next. And until the next one, take care and I'll see you soon.